Lord Karan Bilimoria, you describe the Prime Minister as someone who literally rose from very, very humble backgrounds to become what you call one of the most powerful people on the planet. This BBC documentary, the second part of which is still to be aired, has created a storm both here and in the United Kingdom. How do you see the entire debate around it?
I first met Narendra Modi when he was Chief Minister of Gujarat, when the BJP-led government at that time, 2 decades ago, started the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas event, an initiative. It was such a wonderful initiative, and he used to come to them almost every time. And that's when I first met him. And of course, since then, I've been privileged to meet him while he's been Prime Minister. And I think that there's no question about it. This is a very, very important time in history for the UK and India, because we are in the midst of negotiating a free trade agreement. Since leaving the European Union, Britain now has the ability to negotiate our own free trade agreements. Otherwise, it was through the European Union. And we have already signed agreements with Australia and New Zealand. And India is the big, big agreement that we've been working on. There have been 6 different phases we've gone through, about to start the 7th. Negotiations are on in full swing. And we know very, very clearly from the UK's point of view, India has overtaken the UK now as the 5th largest economy in the world. The UK is the 6th largest economy in the world. And look at the difference. I mean, the UK makes up less than 1% of the world's population. And India, with 1.4 billion, is soon to be the largest populated country in the world. So giant economies now as friends going to be working together in the future. This is a very crucial time for us when negotiating free trade agreement, that we have the utmost trust, respect in each other going forward. And the BBC is an institution. I spoke in debates about the BBC last year, because last year was the centenary of the BBC. And let's be frank, the BBC over the decades has always had a reputation around the world as being the most famous broadcasting corporation in the world, one that is respected for its trust in being impartial. People trust what the BBC say, particularly in times of crisis. And we've seen this time and again over many, many decades. So this is a situation where people are understandably very upset. And I think we've got to put in the context of the times we're in now and look forward. And also with India, with the presidency of the G20. I mean, this is the top table of the world. And India is right up there. And the whole world is looking to India. This is a time for the UK and India to be the best of friends going forward.
Do you think, given the reputation or the recall value, as you said, Lord Bilimoria, of the BBC around the world, India's blocking of the documentary, how is that going down in the United Kingdom?
It is the India's blocking. We've heard what the spokesperson said from the foreign ministry. And let's be clear, this has not been shown in India. Because the BBC is watched by 500 million people every week, watched and listened to. And India is the highest in all the countries of the listeners and viewers of the BBC. But this program was not BBC. It's shown on BBC Two here. What's shown in India is a BBC World Service. So to my knowledge, it has not been broadcast in India at all.
That is correct. And that's something the foreign ministry spokesperson also emphasized.